Magu Xian Shou, divine marijuana brings immortality. But it's time to put on the gloves. We're getting ready to go in back. So anyway, this is sort of an extension of the first, I think I did 3 videos talking about the Ba Gua. But on those videos I talked about the TriGrams. I found it. So then I talked about, then I showed how each of the TriGrams, which means 3 lines, either solid or broken, I showed in the back how each of the TriGrams works out to a stance or a fist. So I showed the stances and the fists separately. So today what we're going to do, I call the mother form. So there are 8 stances and 8 fists. But first, let me say this is now the art of Bagua, the 8 hexagrams of Magu Fu, which is the actual name of the Kung Fu, divine cannabis marijuana, as we interpret it. So, what the mother form consists of, on this chart, somebody sat up there and was thinking of all this stuff. I mean, like, they didn't have nothing else to do. Or maybe they had a lot to do, but they were just tapped in to Mother and Father Nature. But anyway, so now after we have the 8 trigrams, somebody doubled them up. So then we have 8 trigrams above, which can be considered the 8 heavenly or heaven trigrams, talking about the sky and maybe even space, reality, not the heaven you go to or you believe in when you die. And then they combine them with 8 lower trigrams, which represent the earth, because this is what we are standing on, all of us. I don't care who you are, what you believe. If there was no earth all of a sudden not to stand on, where would you stand on? And then what happens is these numbers throughout this chart here are the combinations of the 8 heaven hexagrams and the 8 trigrams, heaven trigrams, and the 8 earth or lower trigrams. So when you combine the two, it is called a hexagram or hexagram. A hexagram, because now you have 3 lines above heaven and you have 3 lines below earth. So this is where, or what I based my Kung Fu on, Magu Fu. So Now, this is the general chart you will find in a in a I-Ching book or classic. Now, as you can see, the numbers are all over the place. They're not in order. But what happens is when you look at it, all of these are based on the heaven trigrams. All of these are based on the thunder trigram, etc. So when I made up the form, if I did like heaven, it would be heaven once, heaven, then heaven again, then heaven 8 times, and then I go to earth. Excuse me, earth, earth, earth. So all I really did, I'm looking at this chart. Okay, so here's a chart. I mean, here's a I Ching book, right? Now this is supposed to be the original um, translation. So here's an I Ching book, and in the back of the book is the chart that I just showed you, except they have the hexagrams large and the numbers small. So what's happening, one of the things that you can use the I Ching for is to do what they call divination, not devil's nation. Divination, in other words, forecast the future for people. So what you do, you throw your coins or whatever, and those coins will give you the hexagram, and then you go to the number that it gives you, and that is already in the book for that hexagram. So I simply made a Kung Fu based on those hexagrams. The stances represent the trigrams on earth or below, and the heaven trigrams, the heaven. I can't wait to get to the land and get away from the city. The heaven trigrams are represented by the 8 fists. So, the last thing I wanted to do was actually show what I'm getting ready to show out in the back. All right, so the first stance and fist is heaven. So the form that I'm getting ready to show, or the 8 forms that I'm getting ready to show, I call the mother form, because the mother form, those 8 hexagrams that I put in physical form or in martial art form, those 8 hexagrams represent each singular one of these hexagrams, as I just showed you in the book. So that means even though there's only 8 punches and 8 stances, if once you combine them, you can only get 64 variations. So my I-Ching Chuan form, which I call the form of no form, the form of no form, is based on those 64 forms. So here are the 8 hexagramical forms. The first, as always, is heaven. Now in this stance, I'm doing the heaven stance because my leg is up and kicking, but I'm also doing the heaven fist. So that's what I mean. It'll be heaven, what I'm getting ready to show. be heaven on heaven, earth on earth, blah, 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 through the whole 8 hexagrams. So ooh, after heaven comes earth. After earth comes, get it right, big, fire. After fire comes, I like saying water. You know, for years you're trying to get that Bruce Lee voice type water. This is water on water. Be like water, my friend. I know that's the black Bruce Lee sound, voice, whatever. It's mine. Be like smoke, my friend. Ah, didn't think of that one, huh? So that's the water on top of water. Oh, excuse me, I forgot. Because they are in order this time. That's mountain on mountain stance. Mountain stance with mountain fists on top. Wind. Wind stance with wind fist. Lake. Lake is, along with the water stance, are probably two of the hardest stances if you practice them. It's not hard if you just go into it and get right back up. You have to practice and stay in these stances until your legs get strong. That's why in Kung Fu the stances are done first. But since we don't have years and years and years and years and years, we're going to practice the stances with the fists. So that is lake. Part of it is tone off. Lake over lake. And lastly, we have thunder. I know, I said it before. My stance is looking kind of square because we have 3 levels of stances, which I'll get into on another video. So this would be the lowest stance. Thunder. And usually with thunder comes lightning and maybe even rain. Oh, we're going to get into that. But for right now, I'm going to put you on pause, and then I'm going to take you in the back, and we're going to show you some 8 mother form mother. Time to put the gloves on. So here we are in the back in my homemade first ever Kannabis Kung-Fu Dao workout area kind of gym thingy. So anyway, let me make this kind of cool as fast as I can. So all I'm going to do, I did all the explanations I need to do for YouTube. And all I want to do right now is actually show you the 8 stances and 8 fists, or the 8 hexagrams combined. These 8 forms that I'm about to show you is the foundation of the whole form of no form, which I call I-Ching Chuan, meaning the fist or the classic of changes fist. So you'll see what I'm talking about. The first form is heaven over heaven. Open up, toes pointed at the corners, and feet straight. If you're going to do high stances, or for practice level, we do the middle stances. So open the toes up to the corners, then the heels point to the back corners, and then the feet are straight. Twist yourself into the ground. This is called grounding or rooting. As a matter of fact, I just posted a audio video with people talking about EMF hazards. It's like a whole 6 parts that I've just posted. And one of them was on grounding. So I was like, we've been doing, well, Kung Fu been doing this for like 1,000 years or more. So let's get on with it. So we always start out with this, the horse riding stance, which in Kannabis Kung-Fu we call riding the high horse. What else are you going to call it in Kannabis Kung-Fu? So the first stance and fist is heaven over heaven. The over part is the fist. Put your weight to one side. Now, in the first form, we come up at the same time as the legs, and it's a kick to the knee. We don't have really high kicks. We have a kick to the groin, a kick to the knee, a hook to the leg, and then the hands come up like in the Tai Chi form, except they don't go back down. They stay up. About the fist or about eyebrow height. And at this um, at this way, we're talking about using the elbows. So we come out here, which is about mid-range, and then advanced level is out here. So right now, practice level is here. So all the weight goes on one leg, and that leg expands into a kick. No matter which way the kick is, back, if you're standing on one leg, that's the heaven stance. Now, heaven fist, I get from the Tai Chi. In Tai Chi, it would be like what they call ward off. So it'll be rising and expanding. So if the fist is coming here, I'm just moving it out the way. I can move 1,000 pounds with just 4 ounces and all that good shit. Try that on the street. Anyway, so all I did was make a fist and make it a little more harder of a block, because we don't call it blocks in internal style, we call it neutralizing. I'll get into all that on the Zoom classes. So heaven is expanding and rising, expanding and rising. Okay? Earth. Earth is the opposite. Let me show it from the front first. Can you see my feet? Yeah. Let me show it from here first. So after heaven, we have earth. Step back Now see, I'm on that 45-degree angle. My nose is over my front knee, and my front knee is not going past my toes. This is straight, and this is straight. So from heaven, which is the twisted fist, that's the name of the fist in Kannabis Kung-Fu, twisted fist. And one-legged stance, or riding the high, stepping up to or on high horse. Step back, and then you're grabbing the elbow. We'll get into the claw in a minute. And grabbing the wrist and sitting back. Now all the weight is back here, and pulling at the same time with your weight. Like I'm only like 135, maybe smaller. But imagine 135 pounds jerking your arm backwards. So Earth has two parts. You have the fist, you have the stance, and the fist. And I should say the fist has two parts. When you step back and pull, this is a Earth fist, if you remember, and I'm grabbing the elbow here, or around the elbow, and pulling and sitting back. So those two together are Earth over Earth. The next fist is fire. Doom, 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 doom. Oh. So fire, say we in Earth stance, back. Again, all the weight is on one leg, but this front foot is flat and grounded. So we just did a strike back. Now, from back, we step forward. Notice this step, we'll get into that. And from here, we come into what I call the fire. So, in actuality, I wouldn't wait and lift my arms and then throw the punch. That's just a form. So if I'm back, like so, just hitting somebody in back of me, I'm going to come straight up. But the fist in the fire fist in Ma Gu Fu is a stamping fist. I went over that already. So that's fire, which we call lighting the bowl. And the forward or fire stance is putting out the roach. If you ever smoked in the old days, we used to call the end of the joint the roach, and you would just throw them away. All right, so from earth to fire. So as you notice, why I say the stances are the foundation, because you'll see that each stance is actually throwing kind of the fist. So when I come forward, coming forward with my legs, look at these muscles and look at these muscles. Which one do you think is stronger? So I'm coming with my legs, not my arms, not my waist, my whole body. In all of the punches and stances. So after fire is water. Water sinks. So, well, let's say I'm in a fire stance. I'm going to do a 45-degree twist and then sink. So punching downward is the water punch. And this stance, going down, we can go all the way down on one knee, even though that's just a move, like you get somebody on the ground or get them over your knee, things of that nature. But it's not meant for consistent use all the time. So that's water. Water twists, look in your toilet, look in your sink. Every time you flush or turn on the water, it goes in a whirlpool and it sinks. So that's where you can punch the top of somebody's foot. So after water, we have the opposite, which is mountain. Let me step out to the side. No, matter of fact, let me step this way a little bit. So mountain, say we in the water stance from here, well, let me do it the other way. From here, I step out, and this is the mountain fit. Somebody's coming from my side. First, neutralize or block the hand that's getting ready to strike you with the motion of the body. And then I'm throwing all my weight on this side of my body. So the back fist, which is the mountain, comes right behind it. And there are two back fists because it's part of Earth. Earth has two. So one is this way, and the other is this way. The wheel. After mountain comes wind. Now I'm not talking about farting after you eat a mountain of food. I'm talking about the next element in the phases of elements. So wind, I'll say we in mountain stance. How do you do mountain stance? Say we're in mountain stance. I just did back fist. So if somebody's coming again to punch me, I grab the hand or at least move the hand and pull it up under my armpit because we don't like to really do movements like that. So I didn't get this from Kung Fu. I actually got this from what we call jailhouse rock. So say I'm just standing there, you can maybe punch my nose off. I neutralize or block while the foot slides right, making a T in front of the first foot, front foot. So I'm constantly, like wind, moving with the fist. I put it up under my arm, because I got it now, but it's all one move. And when I turn this way, this fist comes overhead, boof, and hits on the top of the head. And then I can just bring down my elbow and lock your arm and then do whatever the hell I want to you. So that's wind, constant movement or transient. After wind comes what? So we did heaven and earth. So everything is up. The two together are actually opposite poles. Heaven, earth, fire, water. Mountain. I did mountain. Oh, mountain and wind. So that's 6. So 7 and 8 is, this one is lake. Lake. Lake, we want to get the idea of a calm, still body of water, but is dangerous because it twists and sinks, or it could twist like a whirlpool. And if you can't swim and you think it's just a shallow lake, and then when you get out to the middle, your ass drowned. So they try to get across the idea of a lake with that calm, reflective. You can see your picture, but it's dangerous, dangerous. So in lake, we have twisted stance. That's the um, cannabis name for the stance. And I can't think of no other name for it in so actually it would be lake in the I Ching, but we call it twisted stance and getting hooked fits. Oh, you don't want to get hooked. So I can use it again. The legs are power ring. The fist, I'm screwing into the ground. But the power is grounded through the legs and then ends in the fist. And the last of the forms is thunder. So now we started out with the horse or riding the high horse stance, and then we end the mother form with the riding the high horse stance, which represents thunder in the I Ching. So we are doing thunder fist over thunder stance. So don't bounce. I got a habit of doing that when I start showing or teaching. When you sink, you stay on that level. Even if you move, you pretty much stay there unless you need to go down or need to go up. But otherwise, you stay grounded on the same level. So, horse stance is thunder, and the fist is the uppercut. Again, this is from boxing, not Tai Chi. So, in thunder, in Tai Chi, it's called split because you're punching in one direction, and in internal Kung Fu, I'm also sinking a little bit. So instead of pushing up like in boxing, I'm actually throwing my fist up, throwing my fist up. I'm throwing my fist up as I grab your arm or hand, whatever, and pulling in the opposite direction. That's split. Now, I didn't show it at the beginning again, but we start with and end with yin yang. So again, everything or the foundation is in the legs. So we start out with the legs, and then we add the arms. So now, as I showed before, this is called the shield. That's if a weapon or punch is coming straight at you, you just, with your body weight, not with your arm, especially if you're small like me, I'm using my whole, whatever I weigh, to move that arm. Now, with that comes a punch. It's not like, your. No. Something coming behind that. So I'll get into that on the Zoom class certification course. So thunder is just move the same movement. I'm pulling and punching up, straight up. And I'm also doing the yin yang shield, wheel, tray, gyro. All those are yin yang or variations. And always end with meditation before you walk away. It could be just a minute or more. Oh, well, first open the legs back up for the feet, about shoulder width apart. Let yourself sink into the earth. And end your practice session with breathing and meditation. Calm the fuck down. So, that's it for the Bagua part, which is part 4, part 3, whatever, man. The art of Bagua, the 8 hexagrams. And I'm going to 8. Well, I can't 8 until I go eat. And then I ate. I'm out with a dag nabbit button. Peace.